Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's been a little bit since I made a video with the life of COVID and a lot of family things that kind of happened. I haven't been able to make as much content as I wanted to, but here I am now. Just gonna jump right back into it, making some videos on some content of gaming that I kind of enjoy. And Outriders was a game that came out, and I've been looking forward to eventually coming back to making YouTube videos and bringing this game to you guys, giving you my take, especially with the state of this game where it is at right now. Obviously, with COVID going on, a lot of updates for games we've wanted. I was big on Borderlands for a while. The content kind of was sprinkled in, especially with this game. So Outriders is to me, very solid game. Overall, as far as a looter shooter is concerned. It came out back in April to rival games such as Borderlands 3. And it's definitely a different beast in its own right. It doesn't have the ability to jump, which was definitely one of the first things that kind of jumped out at me, was that I couldn't jump, right? In Borderlands, you can jump around everywhere. So in this game, no jumping. So definitely you have to learn that real fast. But overall, it doesn't need it. Once you kind of get the idea that you're a tank with all the classes that are there, and learn how to run around and use your class like this, what you see me doing right now, it kind of comes to you first, pretty easily. Anyway, I wanted to give you guys the state of play of this game as far as where it's at. Yeah, so this game at first was very I'll use the word grind. The grind behind this game was a bit much. I'm not going to lie, after I kind of beat the main game, I try to get into these expeditions, which is what you see in the video right now. And these expeditions were aggressive. They were extremely aggressive at first, especially if you didn't have the right gear to make these expeditions happen. You had to kind of go into the hunting missions where you kind of can hunt like a lot of the special bosses that you can run through over and over and over again to get that loot, and then eventually you trade it all in and you get legendary equipment, and that was the crippling part of this game, was the legendaries were like few and far between. It took a long time for me to get legendary equipment that was valid. This is post update, where they said they even updated it to give you more loot, and yet it was still very stingy with it. So I got really irritated. I kind of put it down for a while, and I started playing other games that were coming out. But then I kind of circled back to it once that update was made, to see if it was true, and it was and it wasn't. I mean, it still took. Again, it took me about, before I had the right gear to really pummel through like 13, 14 expedition level. As you can see, this is level 14. It took about a good 70 hours, about a good 60, 70 hours to get the loot requirement to drop. The drop rates weren't that great, much less the right equipment for the build I use for Trickster. And you needed specific equipment to make it happen. During this gameplay, I wasn't too solid with it, so if you're watching it as you're listening to me talk, definitely I apologize for the really crummy gameplay of it. But anyway, but yeah, so then I started getting back into it. I got the loot necessary, and then I wanted to kind of get to that 15th Eye of the Storm, because I never got there. I kind of just fell off. When I finally got to level 15, and I started to play online to hopefully get a group of people to play it, I feel like, man, they turned this way too bullet spongy when you have online players, which was crazy, because, I mean, you can see the numbers that I output in damage. I mean, even between my damage output and two other players, I mean, it takes forever to kill one enemy. As you can see here, I can kill enemies in 2-3 shots, but all of a sudden you add two other players, and like it takes a whole clip to do a lot of this work, which, again, there are other builds with the Pyromancer, the other classes that I can tell they have strong builds, but for some reason it takes forever to kill enemies, and I didn't like that. So there was an update that recently happened, as of I'm posting this video, that really they made some good changes to like fidelity, graphically, the smoothness of it, the way it runs at these higher levels when you're soloing them feels great. I haven't been able to play anybody online yet, so I look forward to checking that out. See if it's still as demanding as it has been. Because to me, I don't know, that online element, if you want to make a co-op online shooter, like you got to make it more friendly for us to play together, not just get romped pending the equipment of other players. Because if we can't help other players progress the game, then we kind of all get hung up. So hopefully when I take a dive into there, maybe there'll be a difference. Maybe I'll make a video on it. We'll see. But anyway, the state of the game, though, overall, what do I recommend this game right now? The answer is yes, especially for the co-op side of it. I mean, you can play with a friend and get through the whole story. Story's not the greatest, but a good solid co-op game is always nice to have. Whether it's you know, like It Takes Two. It Takes Two was also another good one that recently came out. To me, a co-op game that's solid, that has a story, that has good amount of hours of gameplay to keep you entertained. Yeah, definitely worth its money. It's worth the $40 right now, at least $40 if you want to pay for it. And yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed the little recap of this game. If you have any questions, give me a comment down below. I will be glad to answer any questions. If not, click like, click subscribe, and I hope to catch you guys on my next video.
There's a storm brewing. I need to hurry. That well, is it triggering the storm?
Outrider, there's a storm coming your way.
There's a well here. Spewing anomaly energy, it's creating the storm. That's what's causing the vibration.
At least I know I haven't completely lost my mind. Now get out of there.
Access granted.